I have chosen a topic near and dear to my heart, phytosterols. And I think this is an important topic because there's a lot of lay press about phytosterols. There's a lot of confusion about the terms. There's a lot of relevance into treating a number of different female reproductive conditions, as well as male prostate cancer, bladder cancer, bone density in both men and women. And there's a lot to it, to understanding what is a phytosterol, what do they do, how do they work, are they safe in cancers, do they proliferate the endometrial lining? Can they be too hormonal or too stimulating to hormone sensitive tissues? So there's a lot here to take a deep dive with. There is some misuse or confusion of the term phytosterol just in the general literature, and it's understandable. Sometimes anything with a hormonal activity people equate to being steroidal. If it affects your menstrual cycle, if it affects your fertility, if it affects your uterus, it must be a phytosterol. And that's not always the case. Dadsine is metabolized to equal, as I said a moment ago. So here's a bit more information on this. Equal itself is non-steroidal, kind of a non-steroidal metabolite, and it's metabolized when genistein, or in this case, dadsine, reach the intestinal ecosystem. And equal is made in any significant quantity in only 30 to 50% of people. Only around half of us or less have the appropriate intestinal bacteria that make a significant quantity of equal. This is probably something that we might develop some sort of lab test for in the future, because it does seem to be protective against hormonal cancers, prostate cancer. It does seem to be mitigating to different risk factors for hormonal cancers in women as well. Now on to this term, amphoteric. Ampho means to be able to go in either direction, like amphibians can be on the land or in the water, or an ambidextrous person is equally adept with the left hand as the right hand, can go either way. And something that's sometimes not appreciated in some medical circles is how amphoteric plant compounds can be. And I think some of our logic gets corrupted because people that have studied their whole careers just looking at drug actions where they have one strong action and it never varies, more or less. It's always going to be anti-inflammatory, or always going to be blocking, or it's always going to be an antimicrobial, or what have you. Amphoteric is somewhat foreign to some people's thinking. So when we find a study that says soy isoflavones are estrogenic, it's easy to immediately make the leap and say, well, you shouldn't give them to women with endometriosis, right? So the different phytosterols that have been explored as possible anti-cancer agents, Pueraria, astragalus, Medicago, licorice, that's Glycyrrhiza, Trifolium, those are all legumes, have had specific research either on whole plants or on the dadsine, genistein, and that 10% other. And Google sterones, I think this is my last slide, an entirely different sterone than what we've mentioned so far, would be Google from the Commiphora murra or Commiphora mucal plants. These are often mentioned folklorically for metabolic syndrome, for diabetes, for obesity.